Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors. Voters in the Lake County School District approved an operational referendum, a decision that officials say will allow the district to continue operating. Port Washington also passed a referendum that'll give voters a say when approving large tax incremental financing districts, including those for data centers. More mixed results from local spring elections across the southeastern part of the state.
Voters in Whitefish Bay are rejecting a $135 million school facilities referendum, with about 52% voting no. The plan would have funded a new middle school and upgrades across the district. Meanwhile, in Washington County, Assistant District Attorney Grant Scaife is heading to the bench. He defeats incumbent Judge Gordon Leach, earning about 60% of the vote in the race for Branch 2. You can see other results on our website at WTMJ.com. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee Public Schools facing growing backlash over planned job cuts. Parents, student, and teacher groups calling on the district to reverse the decision to eliminate more than 200 positions as it works to close a $46 million budget shortfall. In a letter to the school board, the groups argue the process lacks transparency and could affect classrooms and student services across the district. District says it's facing a challenging budget year and must meet a state deadline to pass a balanced budget. Special board meetings been requested, but it's unclear if that'll happen. Despite all the talk of inflation and energy prices, a different subject top of mind for a majority of Americans.
The survey was conducted after the U.S.-Iran war had started, but the key issue identified by respondents was not the conflict itself or its potential impact on gas prices. Gallup found that concern about the availability and affordability of health care back home keeps 61% of us awake at night. 51% worry about the economy. Crime and violence are of great concern to only 39% of Americans right now. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
ICE has released a woman who just married a U.S. Army soldier. Annie Ramos, wife of Staff Sergeant Matthew Blank, was arrested by ICE agents April 2nd as she showed up at Fort Polk, Louisiana, to register as a military spouse so she could receive benefits and begin the process of obtaining a green card. Ramos was born in Honduras but came to the U.S. when she was 20 months old. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 1,096 points. The NASDAQ up 577, S&P 500 up 144. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. It's vacation season, and you may be out with your family and friends. Maybe you're on a plane or in a car. And the last thing you want to deal with is joint pain. You're at the end of your rope with that knee pain, or your hips, or the shoulder, maybe the back. It keeps you up at night, and now it may keep you from enjoying a trip to the beach. There's got to be another way, and there is. QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics and its regenerative treatments can help you and do it without surgery and without long recoveries. It's time to get relief. Call QC Kinetics and set yourself up a free appointment. They have a clinic in Mequon. They have another one in Greenfield. The treatments are super easy. Done right there in the office, and then you can go on about your day. Here's the number, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Call today and get your life back, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Call QC Kinetics today.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala. Nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake? Or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Rumors swirling around the future of Doc Rivers. The Bucs head coach was asked once again, what are his plans for next season?
I have grandkids that I want to see. I'll put it that way.
Rivers made those comments ahead of Tuesday's game in Brooklyn. Last month, Rivers brushed off the rumors surrounding his coaching future, saying he plans to return to Milwaukee next season with 1 year left on his contract. But on Tuesday, Rivers talked about his 7 grandkids, who are all under the age of 8.
It kills me every time I miss Grandparents' Day with each one of them in school, and it's probably time to go see them more. So I'll let you figure out the rest.
Rivers, who is the winningest active NBA head coach, will be inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in August. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Bucks lost 96-90 to the Nets on the road. They'll be back in action tonight to face the Detroit Pistons. Brewers lost 3-2 to the Boston Red Sox. Those teams wrap up their series today. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have a crash on the ramp from Wisconsin Highway 145 to I-41 South. There was a crash I-94 West at the ramp from 175 Brewers Boulevard. It was blocking the center lane. That has been cleared.
Traffic is sponsored by Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center. Burghardt Sporting Goods. Visit them today in New Berlin.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Becoming mostly sunny. High today 63. Chance of showers tonight, low 45. Showers likely early tomorrow, then partly cloudy 57. Same for Friday. Showers early, then a high 50 lakeside, 55 inland. Sunny on Saturday. Highs up to 60 inland, and a chance for storms on Sunday, high 70. 45 in Madison, 38 in Green Bay, 40 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bride.
Listen, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
And celebrate in any fashion and form you would like to. It is hump day. It is Wednesday. It is post-election day. And
got a lot to talk about today.
Man, busy day, but it was over early, so none of us had to really stay up late if you were looking at the Supreme Court race. Maybe some local races were a little tighter, but that one was over. It called, I don't know.
By 8:30.
Yeah, 8:30, and polls closed at 8, so boom. I'll go to lights for a very nice person, Judge Marie Lazar. She's been very, very nice to come in the studio a couple times with us. Just got smoked. Let's be honest. Smoked 20 points.
I think it might be a record. I think J.R. Ross from WisPolitics was saying, what was the person? I'm going to look this up quickly, but that it could be, if it is not the record, it is
close,
just shy of the record for a Supreme Court race margin. And not only that, if you take away all of the counties that Harris won in 2024, Taylor still wins.
Yeah, it was a dominating performance.
And it was not just an over turnout in Madison and Milwaukee. It was across the board. Every county besides Menominee, and I don't know what's going on in Menominee, moved left.
Any Menominee listeners out there? It's sort of on the fringe of where we can go, but if you have some
It's also very low turnout. They only had like 685 votes or something.
So I just love here. I always love the nuance of local elections. Turnout, I said 1.35 was over 1.5.
It was just shy of where we were in 2020.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, for a race that at least voters and polling suggested no one cared about or didn't know the candidates, not bad. The final numbers, I don't have it right in front of me, but Taylor with like 60%, Lazar under 40. That's an amazing, amazing performance. One of the things that we'll probably wrangle a little bit, even on Friday's show with Bill and Joe, what this means. So we were talking before the show started, and some of the other hosts, other shows I listen to, some of the Twitter posts and stuff that I pay attention to, basically, is this now a indication that Wisconsin is shifting from purple to maybe blue? Because Democrats have won a lot of statewide races.
Democrats have won a lot of statewide races.
Now, and I would excise the Trump part. Trump is a unique character in politics. He gets, not only does he win, but he gets people to turn out for him in historic numbers. And if you take that out, the Ron Johnson race, you can parse that in a million different ways. He beat Mandela Barnes by, what was it, 20,000 or 12,000, something like that. So those are the outliers. But Democrats.
But look at our Congress. Look at our representatives in Congress.
Yeah.
So are you going to say that's because of gerrymandering, or you say it's because they are representative of the districts that they represent?
Each group of races is different. Presidential is different. Congressional races are different. Statewide races, assembly, they all have unique factors. So I would say part of that is the gerrymander that was put into place. These things always happen. Look at Illinois. It's just etched in stone. That's how it's going to be. They're going to be leaning Democrat because that's the rules of the road. I don't like any of it. I think anybody who denies that their side uses gerrymandering in their outlook on how they want to win races is lying. And I'll remind people, political lying is still lying, at least according to the rules that I go by of faith. I just think there's a movement in this state that suggests when somebody wins by 20 points, pay attention.
Oh, I think you should absolutely pay attention. I do not think this means that we are now a blue state.
I don't mean in the classic. Blue states basically are always blue.
Well, that's what I mean. I feel like when in Illinois, in a lot of these districts or statewide races, whoever wins the Democratic primary is just the foregone conclusion of going to win the general.
We're not
that to me is a blue state, or vice versa, a red state, where it's like the primary is the election. I don't think we are there yet for any statewide race.
Let me flip
besides
it on
maybe.
Let me flip it on you. What does this race mean to you? That she won by this margin?
I think I don't want to say it's an outlier, but to me, there is certain circumstances around this race that have to be isolated to this race. Chris Taylor ran for a much longer period of time. She announced way earlier. Maria Lazar announced way later because Rebecca Bradley waited to decide that she was not running again. Chris Taylor outraised and outspent Maria Lazar 9-1. I'm reading. I don't know if all the numbers are in right now. There was no institutional seeming support for Lazar compared to Chris Taylor as far as actual organizing and campaigning. So I think some of that leads to such a big margin. I think some of it is also the sentiment of voters being activated right now in response to this administration. And I think some of that makes up some of the margin. I think there is also sentiment as far as what is going to go into the November election, as far as where people are feeling and also what the opportunity are. I think that the biggest takeaway, and maybe this is just my hope more than reality, I think this is also a sign of people getting sick of fighting over the culture wars because none of their actual problems are being solved. Like up until yesterday, I still was hearing ads for Lazar talking about boys and girls bathrooms. Like, is there that much of the electorate that's still really focused on that versus the plethora of issues when it comes to cost and spending and healthcare that people are actually worried about in their daily lives? Like, are we still running on culture war BS?
Well, I mean,
are we winning on that?
Running as a judge or a justice in this case on gas and groceries is sort of a weird. That wouldn't,
all
that
of the
really
running,
happen.
and this is the thing, all of the running for, this is the same thing we talked about with Matt. It's so frustrating as far as like, oh, it's a nonpartisan race. I'm an independent judge. And yet here we have the expectation that the party leaders are commenting and talking about our side. Like, that's what's so, I'm getting to the point where I don't think we should elect our judges, but that's a different topic for a different day. I think there is lessons to be learned here, but I don't think it is anywhere near like a foregone conclusion of what's going to happen in Wisconsin in November.
All right, let's take a break. She's Chris and I'm Steve. Lots to talk about on this Hump Day edition of WTMJ's Point Taken. Lots more after this.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Your email said you had a big surprise.
Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Evermore.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for.
Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore, just $998.
Or $14.98 with 1 carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Take your family to the amazing Mineshaft restaurant in Hartford for the all-you-can-eat Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry for $8.99. Wow. You'll pay twice that elsewhere. Desserts or buy one, get one free. Google The Mineshaft. Call and reserve your table, The Mineshaft.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, Lake Tides newsletter, UWSP, Stevens Point, if you don't know. Great source for natural resources in the state of Wisconsin. Talk to those folks there. And then we wrap it up with a conversation with Lang Lake County.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
And don't forget to watch us on YouTube. You don't have to just listen. I mean, that's always acceptable. Watch us on YouTube whenever, wherever. Just search Point Taken or 620 WTMJ and subscribe, which is the way you get it automatically delivered to your phone, smartphone, or otherwise. A couple other points. This part of southeastern Wisconsin is changing. This isn't like breaking. It is moving left. These counties that used to always be like, in the book, it's going to happen for Republicans. They're not that way. With the exception of Washington County, although even Washington County couldn't get the Charlie Kirk Highway thing done. So even maybe they're even changing.
I also think that's something totally different.
That was just a stupid idea. I said it. A couple things. We are seeing, and I agree with your point, there are people who are upset with where we're at as a country. There are people who are upset with the rising cost of everything.
Of everything.
I'm not kidding. Everything's... When we pay our bills, Kathy and I, everything has gone up, from energy costs to grocery. She told me the other day, like, the most she ever paid for a piece of steak in a food store. It's like, really? It's nuts. And people, they will take that out in whatever form and fashion they can. Right now, they're apparently taking it out on the conservative candidate for Supreme Court. That might be, even though they have, let's be honest.
Yes, and less to do, but
they're
it
just
is
exercising
the signals,
their
right?
anger,
It's
right?
like this the not the trends, but like basically the different. This is why we have parties at all, and parties have platforms. As far as for people who are not up to date, is a signal as far as like shortcuts, basically, as far as how to vote. I want to be engaged. I want to vote, but like this is my sign of who I agree with more likely without having more information.
Yeah, and I've seen some, and I haven't had a chance to sample all the other people who do what we do, both here in Milwaukee and in the state and across the country. But this idea that it's just a money question is stupid. There's an ideas problem for conservatives and Republicans, and you've been listening to the same damn voices for 20 years in this state. How's that working out for you? When you don't have Trump, you lose.
I mean, I think there's also the general people, and I want to talk about this further because I know you're very skeptical of Mamdani.
Yeah, I mean, you're in love with him, apparently.
I'm not in love with him. I'm not in love with him, but I think that there is certain successes he's had immediately, including the fact that like there was a bunch of potholes and they got the potholes fixed. I think there are small things that people are just so desperate for government to actually work and work for them that there are small wins, and focusing on actual problems would be nice. And then once you're in office, actually fixing those problems.
My response would be, if you think democratic socialism is the answer for the country, good luck.
But I think you're hung up on that title versus actually looking at the things that they're doing and they're getting done.
I don't know enough about New York politics to have a more educated opinion than this. Give me 4 years with him. Let me see what the business community says. Let me see what the residents say. Let me see what journalists say about his performance. Then I'll have an opinion. It's way too early.
I understand that it's way too early. I'm saying as one flashpoint and one example as far as
I love that example.
Getting that done. I know there was so much backlash against like the snow shoveling because you had to show your ID. Yes, because they were going to pay those people, and when you get a job, you have to show your ID so that they can pay you. But the snow got shoveled and people got paid. Like this is like when I went to the Wisconsin Policy Forum government awards earlier this year, and they like actually highlighted governmental programs when they work and work well and solve problems. This is what the ideal should be versus partisan culture, like pointing to the other side and just saying how bad and terrible they are.
Yeah, there's a kernel of truth in that, yes. But politics are won on brands, and the Democratic Socialist brand, I know some of our local people here, some of our state, they follow along. Good luck with that in this state. I don't think it's going to play well, but I could be shocked, just like I was shocked at the margin yesterday. The other thing that take away.
What did you think the margin was going to be?
12. Yeah, this was, almost double that. That's insane. And you said almost record, maybe record. That's because the final numbers trickle in over the course of this week before they are official and certified. The other one was pushback against some of these school referendums, including Whitefish Bay. That's a big story.
Yeah.
Because I forget what the number is. We talked about this months ago. They've been pretty much put out in front of communities, and communities have been saying yes to these things. We had a pool one, two high school pools that are now community. One's a community pool, one's a athletic gym class pool. That passed. And I could already hear it in my community. People are like, what's next? We have some of the most grandiose sports facilities in the States. And we're, I think, the 5th largest school district in Oak Creek. Oak Creek, Franklin, I should say, because that's the correct borders. People are like, I can't afford this. If you're on fixed income, you're a senior. I know people like to pound on boomers like we have all the money. Not everyone has money, including seniors in that category.
But boomers do have a lot of money.
Generally, they do, yeah. Well earned. Working since they were 14 years old. Not complaining about it. Not living in their parents' basements.
Also benefited from the largest economic growth in history.
They were 30, not getting their parents' insurance till they were 26. Getting out and working. It's a big difference.
Is it?
I love that. I love that. Feistiness on a Wednesday hump day edition. We got to talk about the ceasefire.
All right, let's talk about that when we come back.
There's a lot swirling around. That's a major world story, and we're going to pay attention to it in the way that we always do. Kristen, Steve, point taken, 620 WTMJ.
Personal injury lawyers seem like they're a dime a dozen, but Frank Pasternak and I are not about T-shirts or cartoons. At Pasternak and Zergabel, we focus on serious cases and real results for injured Wisconsinites. We are two of Wisconsin's best injury lawyers. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Our clients trust Pasternak and Zergabel because we show up, we listen, and we fight for you. If you need help, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Hey, Wisconsin, WTMJ, Steve Scavidi here for Badger Fence. I have a Badger Fence, had it for almost 10 years now. It's hard to believe. Cedar looks amazing. Love it. Love my neighbors, but it makes living more fun and quieter. And actually, here's the interesting little side benefit. The birds have come back. We're in a neighborhood with a lot of dogs. They feel protected in my fenced yard, and they fly in all the time. We have birds' nests, feeders, all that stuff. So if you're thinking about a fence, couple big things here. 3 big things: privacy, security, and a fence that looks amazing. They qualify. That's why they've been doing this since 1945. How about that? Better Business Bureau accredited A+ rating, longtime NARI Milwaukee member. Whether it's wood, cedar, which is what we chose, ornamental chain link, PVC vinyl, which is an amazing look, and they some of them look like wood now. Find the right fence for your budget and your look of your yard. Licensed, bonded, insured, that makes a difference as well. Quality materials, what matters most. If your fence project is on your to-do list this year, set an appointment at badgerfence.com. Badgerfence.com. Tell them Steve from WTMJ sent you.
Take it home this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. $300,000 is on the line, and you're at bat to win your share. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Plus, your April drawing entries all count toward another prize drawing in June. It's the Base Race Game Show. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
I didn't want my kids spending their weekends fixing my gutters or worrying if I was okay. Hi, this is Arvid. At Capri Communities, I have new friends, fun activities, and a safe, maintenance-free home. My children get peace of mind, and I get to enjoy life to the fullest. It's the best gift I could give them and myself.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at Capri Communities. Get started today at capricommunities.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Have you ever thought to yourself, I want my house to look better than it does. I just don't know where to even start or even what to do. Tri-County Contracting can help you with that. They can help you love your home again. They have the design consultants, they've got the showroom, they've got real picture renderings, they've got it all to help turn your home back into your dream home. Tri-County Contracting, WDI.com. Love your home again with Tri-County Contracting.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't
Well, interesting music choice to go into a very tenuous situation, it seems like. But it is a good thing. I'm going on record right now. It is a good thing we did not bomb Iran into the Stone Age last night.
A whole civilization.
So I'm happy with that.
Me too.
From what I understand, I am more confused on how there is any way to spin this as a win for the United States. As far as it seems like, as far as what I've read, that during this 2-week ceasefire, the conditions are based on the 10-point proposal from Iran, not us, that include taxing tankers that are going in and out of the Strait of Hormuz, which it was free.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I think there's also issues. My brother was texting me before the show this morning that there's been some oil tankers that have already been stopped. And so is it open yet? I don't know. But also lifting all of the sanctions off of Iran. I don't know how we spin this as we are winning.
Yeah, I can look at this list, right, because you put it on our outline. Ceasefire has already been violated. That there was still ongoing lobbying of
apparently,
strikes.
and also apparently Israel and Lebanon, that is outside of the scope of what this ceasefire is.
Not according to Iran, lifting end to all regional fighting Israeli strikes in Lebanon. Well, that one didn't last. They're saying, Iran, that they're going to share the fees that you were just talking about with Oman, not the U.S. Trump's talking like we're getting half. How would that even work? We're at war with someone, and they're just going to hand over. We're taking $2 million. We'll keep $1 million. We're going to hand it over to the guy who's blowing our stuff up. I had to edit myself there. That's not going to happen. That's unrealistic. I'm happy that there's at least a framework for something that doesn't involve blowing up or annihilating an entire civilization. But again, what this is a very sketchy, the term that we used to use, back of the napkin calculation that how we can stop this stuff.
It seems like this was just, and we don't know all the players that were involved. Like, did China get involved just because, certain countries were on the brink of collapse because of the energy crisis, right? As far as like Australia, Thailand, we were in a better position there. But as far as the international pressure of we need energy and we need this to be open. So I don't know everyone who was involved, but it just feels like this puts us at a worse place than we were at with Iran, as far as the Strait, as far as their uranium and everything that they're doing. Thousands of people were killed, including Americans who were wounded and killed. Everything's more expensive. I don't understand right now what was gained. And I say that not as I know some people are going to be like, you're just partisan and you're trashing Trump or whatever. I'm trying to genuinely ask, and I will ask Bill on Friday, what has been gained so far with this? And we got to go to break.
Any of this sustainable?
I got more to say on this after our guest.
Yeah. What I would say, this is a superficial way to sort of schedule a ceasefire, just like the tariffs, which is our next topic with our trade expert, Leo Krenz, how they were handled is very superficial and lazy, and that's why we're at where we're at. We've got local news updates coming up with Connie Weber. Here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The New York architect charged with murdering at least 7 women and dumping their bodies along remote stretches of Long Island is in court today. Rex Heuermann has just pleaded guilty to murdering 8 sex workers. He is expected to get life behind bars. General Dan Kane, chair of the Joint Chiefs, says the U.S. destroyed more than 80% of Iran's military facilities, but also said today at the Pentagon that the military will stand by if fighting ramps up again.
We welcome the ongoing ceasefire, and as the Secretary said, we hope that Iran chooses a lasting peace. But as Secretary Hegseth said, let us be clear, a ceasefire is a pause, and the joint force remains ready if ordered or called upon to resume combat operations.
Oil prices sinking back toward $90 a barrel and the Dow surging over 1,000 points as investors hope the ceasefire holds. The details aren't clear, but it appears Iran is still charging ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1031. I'm Connie Weber. Judge Chris Taylor will be Wisconsin's next Supreme Court justice, beating Judge Maria Lazar. Liberals will now hold a 5-2 majority in Wisconsin's highest court. Taylor's a former state lawmaker who also worked for Planned Parenthood. The board that runs the universities of Wisconsin voted unanimously Tuesday to fire system president Jay Rothman. He'd refused an offer from the Board of Regents to quietly resign, saying it never gave a clear reason why he should. Board President Amy Bogus says they shared a performance review with Rothman and stressed the need for a clear vision. VP for University Relations Chris Patton will serve as acting executive in charge while the board begins its search for an interim president. Road rage incident in Wauwatosa. Police say 2 drivers got into it. I-41 and Capitol Drive. The confrontation ended in a crash. One of the vehicles hitting construction barrels and sideswiping the other. Then one of the drivers pulled a gun, shot at the other vehicle. Nobody hurt. Police still looking for the shooter. Time for news about your money with the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 1,079 points, 47,664. The Nasdaq up 559, 22,577. S&P 500 up 139 at 6,756. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 at the ramp from Good Hope Road East, left lane there is blocked due to a crash. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Becoming mostly sunny, breezy, mild today, high 63. Chance of showers tonight with a low 45. Showers likely early Thursday, then partly cloudy, high 57. Early rain on Friday, then partly cloudy with a high 50. Lakeside 55 inland. Sunny on Saturday, highs 52 to 60. Sunday, a chance for showers and storms, mostly cloudy with a high of 70. 45 in Madison, 38 in Green Bay, 40 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1033.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and maestro of metaphor. What do you have for us today?
Dad, buying a home is a lot like having a baby. And it turns out that in today's extra competitive market, getting real estate pregnant with your offer accepted is the hardest part. So along with your agent, your Accunet loan consultant will do everything possible to get your real estate bun in the oven.
Yep, we can definitely help buyers make their offers more competitive. Okay, so once you've made the real estate baby, so to speak, what else do buyers and their agents want?
As a son, now this is getting gross and I regret the metaphor. But the next thing everyone wants are regular checkups and an on-time delivery. That's where Accunet really shines, with proactive weekly updates to reassure the sometimes nervous homeowners-to-be that everything's okay and on track.
It all starts with a rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval, and our home buying clinic is always open. Just click on the blue button at Accunet.com to get started. That's ACCUNET.com.
Enjoy a free dinner this week at the historic Fox and Hounds, one of the most unique and affordable supper clubs in Wisconsin. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds, one of my very favorite places. You will enjoy fabulous food and 90 years of history in the gorgeous stone and timber building. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free every single night, free. Seafood, choice steaks, short ribs, a real favorite, pasta, prime rib Wednesday and Saturday, even the steak and lobster, your second dinner is always free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. I love that chocolate cake with the extra ice cream. Unwind with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, 20 bourbons to choose from, 100 wines from around the world. Wherever you live, it's worth the spectacular drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest for your free dinner. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, escape from your kitchen with a free dinner this week. Man, that sounds great. Call and reserve, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
One of the things I love about doing Point Taken with Kristen Bry, the talented, vivacious Kristen Bry, is that we don't just do topics and then forget about them. We're talking a lot about. We talked a lot about tariffs, especially when they were unleashed on the world by the president in April of last year. We've had him on the show before. Leo Krenz, import manager, Krenz and Hannon International, who is an expert on trade. We're going to and good morning, Leo.
Good morning, Leo.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Kristen.
We're going to get to because I gave you some homework. I got to be completely honest. I just saw Leo last week. I said, I got some homework for you.
Did you guys just run into each other at the grocery store or something? No, you don't go to the grocery store. So.
I never shop. We ran into at Sim Golf.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, which he hosts, which is very cool. His dad. Anyway, regardless of that, a couple general questions about some of this stuff. How much uncertainty, Leo, have been added to the trade process because of tariffs? And there's some follow-up questions, but start with that.
It's a great question, Steve, and the answer is pretty straightforward. There's been a significant amount of uncertainty through this process. It's without a doubt the most volatile period of time in international trade that we've ever seen. Tariffs were introduced very quickly, expanded very quickly, and now after the recent Supreme Court ruling in February of this year that they were this certain subset of tariffs considered the IEEPA tariffs, which are the, as you mentioned, in April of 2025, on Liberation Day when Trump announced these are the country-specific tariffs. There's also other tariffs in play here, which has added a ton of complexity to the issue. But these country-specific tariffs are the ones that have been struck down, and now we're looking at the refund process here. So there's been a significant amount of uncertainty, and it's been extremely challenging for all in the industry to keep up with everything.
I was going to say, as far as even working in the news industry, sometimes it's hard to keep up with everything because obviously President Trump had a not great reaction to the Supreme Court decision. Has there been any news as far as what tactics he's trying to get around that decision? If there's more tariffs to be expected under a different title, under a different... I don't even know what the terminology would be, but like, is there expectations that there could be more tariffs coming, just called something else?
Good question, Kristen. They've already been implemented.
Okay.
So the specific tariffs that Trump that were struck down were these IEEPA tariffs. They were announced as everything has been with all of these changes. Were announced late in the evening on a Friday and going into effect on a Monday. But when the tariffs were struck down, he immediately put a different tariff in place that are country specifics. I would consider them just a baseline tariff. There's no difference between all of the different countries like the IEEPA tariffs were, but there was immediately another tariff put in place under Section 122. But that I mentioned is a temporary tariff. And come July, those tariffs will expire, and it's fully expected by everyone in our industry that there will be another round of country-specific tariffs put into place with a different legal lever that the president is already working on under Section 301. So, yeah, there's a continued change coming.
Given that tariff reality, is there ever going to be, like in your business, import-export, is there going to be return to like normal or what used to be normal? Is that coming or is that not possible?
It's possible, but it's not coming anytime soon. The presidential administration has made it clear that their agenda is to use tariffs and the different policy changes that they've made as a negotiating tool. And although they've seen these legal roadblocks with the striking down of certain tariffs, it's not changing that agenda. It's just making it more dynamic. So it's funny you mentioned that because when in April when these tariffs were initiated, of course, the trade attorneys in our industry are putting on a lot of webinars and content trying to educate everybody in the industry on the changes. And there was an expectation at that time that there would be this short period of a few months of volatility and we would reset to a new normal. And we have yet to see that. It's been consistent changes, constant evolutions. I mean, just last week on Friday, after hours before a holiday weekend, we saw changes to the metals tariffs. These are commodity-specific tariffs that don't have any refunds pending. But we saw changes get put into place on a Friday that went into effect on a Monday. So we don't expect any new normal. This is just this is the agenda of the presidential administration that we're under. I mentioned the homework that I gave you, and that has to do with the refund process. Because when these were ruled, these tariffs were ruled unconstitutional. There was supposed to be refunds provided. So you gave me a lot of detail, but give me the highlights, like what's happening on that front. Because at some point, those companies, those businesses want their money back. Sure. And there was a significant amount of uncertainty through the process of this litigation if there would be refunds. There was whispers of possible refunds, but the real issue here, Steve, is the scale of this all of these tariffs. And we're talking about roughly 72 million affected entries, 330,000 affected importers, and billions and billions and billions of dollars of taxes that are now going to need to be refunded. So at a high level, after in February, when the Supreme Court struck these down, it was shortly thereafter that the Court of International Trade ordered Customs to make the refunds. And that was, I'll call that a sigh of relief for the trade community, because as you can imagine, these businesses are looking for refunds on these unconstitutional tariffs.
Right.
So because of the scale of this issue, Customs has had to build a specific system called CAPE, C-A-P-E, that they're still undergoing in development to process the refunds, because it's not just as simple as you pay this amount of money and you're going to get that back. It's actually recalculating tariffs that would have been paid instead of these IEEPA tariffs. So there's many different tariffs that interact with each other, so it can be very complex. So they're going through this implementation of this new, I'll call it a software or a new program that will process these refunds. The court gave them 45 days to put this in place, and that 45 days is coming up here in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So on April 20th, that's when the CAPE refund portal is supposed to go live. So importers, with help of their customs brokers like us, will be able to apply for refunds and show Customs all of the different tariffs that they paid under IEEPA and expect refunds on those.
So it's a portal. It's not like each of these individual businesses have to go to court and pay legal fees in order to get the money that's owed to them. Like there's going to be a portal where you go in and it's like a tax refund.
Correct. And that was the concern early on, and that was a very large concern. And luckily for all of us in this industry, the Court of International Trade has pushed back against U.S. Customs because early on, U.S. Customs had insinuated that would be the process, and Court of International Trade came back and said, no, you're going to make this easier for importers. This is already a mess, and you're going to clean it up yourselves.
Do you have any concerns if it'll be ready by April 20th?
Oh, yeah. When I say it's supposed to be ready April 20th, that's why I said it's supposed to be ready April 20th. So they're phasing out this implementation. So we've heard. So April 20th should be for some of the most straightforward entries that may not need recalculations. And then there's phases 2 and 3 that will come afterwards for other refunds that might get a little more complex. So we're fully expecting glitches along this process, as there have been for all of the other changes that have been made over the past year or so.
All right, keep us posted on that. You know how to get a hold of me, and he's the import manager, Krenz and Hanna International. Couple things. I think at this point I've talked to you probably 3 times on the air. I think you're smarter than your dad, so tell him that. Tell him that, and tell him I hope that his golf game gets better. Because
wow, 2 shots fired at this guy's dad.
Because I know he's listening, so it's so easy. Leo Krenz, always appreciate your wisdom.
Defend himself.
No, he's not. That's why it's so great. Leo, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Steve and Kristen. Have a great day.
All right, good stuff. Sharing the wisdom. He's a young man too.
He does sound young.
Yeah, but he knows
Very smart.
He knows the business, which is why he's on the show. All right, lots more to talk about. Point taken. Kristen, Steve, we do our best on 620 WTMJ.
Don't wait until Friday for your fish fry. The Mine Shaft restaurant serves their all-you-can-eat fish fry every Wednesday and Friday. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The haddock fish fry is just $8.99. You'll pay twice that at other restaurants. I love the Mine Shaft fish fry. Build your own big burger or chicken sandwich with a pile of hot fries for under $10 today. Kids and grandkids under 3, eat for free. Sunday through Thursday from the kids menu, it is free. They can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly set away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. That sounds fantastic. Everybody in the family wins. I urge you to just walk on in today for your Wednesday all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry at just $8.99. That's a crazy low price, and it's great food. Cocktails, beer, appetizers are half price Monday through Thursday from 2 till 5. The Mine Shaft in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh near the EAA. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. Big food, big fun. It's the Mine Shaft Restaurant.
Kitchen remodeling projects consistently rank as one of the most valuable improvement projects in your home. I'm Mark Olson with Redo Cabinets, here to tell you that we can transform your kitchen into your vision and save you money. Now is a great time to learn about refacing during our spring sales event. During this event at Redo Cabinets, get premium cabinet facings with plenty of options for color, hardware, style, and accessories. And get free premium countertops with every refacing project. Or payments as low as $195 a month. That's right, $195 a month. Call today and book a free, no obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
Where you live matters. Searching for assisted living can bring a lot of questions and a lot of emotion. At the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association, we believe you need a clear, complete picture without pressure. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association on whereyouLiveMatters.org, a one-stop destination with unbiased information to help you understand your options and connect directly with providers in your area. No confusion, just tools that help you take the next step with confidence. Start your research today at whereyouLiveMatters.org.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. The best time to plan a funeral is when you don't have to. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristen. He's Steve. We have a couple more segments for the top. Oh, and Joe Zepecki's here.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to talk about election stuff with him, but he'll be here after the top of the hour news. More to talk about AI and a new concept he's working on as far as the protections that we should talk about being in place, that you can't lose your job because of your race, because of your gender. Should you not be able to lose your job because you're human? That's where we're going. So Joe will be here to talk about that. But I wanted to get any final thought. I don't know. It's not final because the ceasefire is not final. But additional thoughts based on, to me, was yesterday, because I asked you, finish your thought, Kristen. I asked you yesterday, are you scared? And I think there was probably millions of Americans who just went about their business, didn't even think about how Trump had started the day with the end of a civilization is coming tonight. And I think there was those of us who pay attention to the news and to politics who had some range of fear yesterday. Was this our Bay of Pigs?
I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
But it's
I wasn't alive then, but I'm just saying, as far as the chaos that ensues with this administration, of the unknowing of what is going to happen, where it is going, and just the inability for Republicans in Congress to rein him in. It puts all, it's the chaos that we are all living through is unforgivable.
This has been a chaotic, unsettling, concerning time in our country's history. And I people yell at me now because I use the term so much. The superficial nature of this administration. They approach things in this simplistic fashion. Oh, we're just going to go in there and get rid of their uranium. Everything goes back to normal in a week. That's not how the world works. Literally doesn't work that way. We have peace agreements that aren't really peace agreements, because if I look at the list of things, half those things have already been violated or not going to happen. Not realistic. And when I see Republicans almost to a person who aren't in the administration's, not question, congratulate the what world are you living in? What world are you living in? It's okay as a Republican and a conservative to criticize this president and this administration. If you don't do that, I just don't have any use for you. It's just lazy.
But are you not going to vote for them then?
Perhaps.
Because that's the thing, right? That's the next step as far as saying, where's Republicans? Why aren't they reining him in?
Yes,
why aren't they doing their job? At what point does it cross over into people who are Republicans, which you always say you are, and that you vote Republican 90+% of the time. But like, are you willing to hold them, whether it's Brian Style or Tom Tiffany, if they can't stand up to this guy?
When I see that they don't speak in an informed, educated fashion, and I see that they're essentially kissing someone's butts, in this case the president, I have to reevaluate how I judge myself. I was thinking about this the other day. I know we got to get to break. Sean Riley, the mayor of Waukesha, at some point he said, I'm sick and tired of what I'm seeing. And he shed his Republican label, even though it's a nonpartisan race, but he was identified as a Republican.
Yeah.
And said, I had enough. At some point, I may do that. I don't call myself a conservative anymore because, frankly, what passes as conservatism disgusts me. This desire to go back to the 1950s, to act like everything's okay if we have our way. How's that working for you guys? And I say guys for a reason. How's that working? Not well. So if you're afraid to criticize this president because it makes your brand look bad, you're lazy, unintellectual, and I don't know what to tell you. At some point, you have to reevaluate your life choices and accept that maybe, just maybe, we've picked the wrong leader. And that's a tough one. I get it. Maybe that's the question you're wrangling with when you see embarrassing displays, when you see stupidity on full display, when you see someone treating the Oval Office in the manner it's been treated, which is disgusting, making fun of enemies just because they're political enemies. Really? This is what you're going for? Maybe you need to reevaluate that conversation in your head, because that's where it starts, individually, not collectively. Quick break.
Being brothers, you knew each other very, very well.
I think I was scared to do it myself, too. There's something about having somebody with you.
Sure.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
And in hindsight, it's probably been a good thing because we see things from different perspectives.
Yes.
Right?
And have different skill sets.
We fight over how things should be done because we see things from different directions, you know.
But we also know that both people have the best interest of Penny Mustard at heart.
Yeah.
PennyMustard.com.
I said fight, it's a friendly fight. I mean, you know.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, this is WTMJ, Steve Skibby for QC Kinetics. You want to change your life? Pain-wise? I did. Last summer, went to QC Kinetics, changed my life. 5 treatments. Bad elbow pain. Elbow strain, tennis elbows is how it's called. Probably a slight tear. But you know what? 5 treatments later, I can do everything I used to do. Golf, yard work. If you have that concern, whether it's your knees, hips, shoulders, back, elbow, or you're not getting a good night's sleep, or you're missing work, or not doing the fun things, you don't want to have surgery, don't want to take meds every day. If you answered yes to that stuff, then you should go to QC Kinetics like I did. Dr. Ashley Caravelli, her great team, will explain regenerative medicine to you. Let your body heal itself. They have locations, Mech 1 and Greenfield, beautiful locations. They're awesome communicators, besides being great medical professionals. The treatments are easy, literally easy. Done in their office. They even have Saturday hours. Consultations free. Find out for yourself. 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy a flavorful and affordable lunch, including authentic Mexican favorites, seafood and vegetarian dishes, and fish fry every day. Enjoy a free cup of soup with every meal. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Got about a minute. We're going to bring in our guy early because we love Joseph Pecky. Joins us every Friday.
Double dose of Pecky.
Yeah. We're going to talk about some really cool stuff you're talking about with AI after the news break, but quick react to the last night. Get your mic on. There you go.
I like nights when we win by 20 more than I like
Beyond
nights
the
where
cheerleading. Beyond the cheerleading. What does it mean?
We'll talk about this more on Friday, but clearly Democratic voters are fired up to go and vote, and it doesn't take much in terms of spending money to motivate them to do that. That's one of the reasons Republicans should be very concerned. I also want to give a big shout out to my friend and the next mayor of the city of Waukesha, Alicia Halvensleben. Don't think a lot of people saw that coming. She's going to be a great mayor for the city of Waukesha.
She earned it. She was Common Council president.
Heck yeah, she's great.
And we're going to try to get her on the phone.
Yeah. You got her number?
I do.
Yeah.
Great.
I call it the Joseph Pecky factor is what's happening with these Democrats. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. All right, Joe's going to stick around. News is next, 620 WTMJ.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, our weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. It's sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today, Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, want to talk about the insurance environment today. What should business owners and individuals understand right now about opportunities in today's insurance marketplace?
Thank you, Vince. There's a unique confluence of events that have shifted the market to favor the buyer today.
So that sounds like good news. What factors are coming together that has set up this favorable market?
Number one, most insurance company financial results were very strong in 2025. As a result, rates continue to decline for many lines of business. Lastly, the insurance distribution system is changing rapidly.
So, Jeff, how can listeners capitalize on what you're just talking about here?
Vince, you will not get the best price and terms without a solid, well-planned strategy. You need an insurance professional that understands these unique market dynamics. And lastly, you need an insurance professional that focuses on you, not one that's engulfed in selling their business or preparing it for a sale.
So, Jeff, I am hearing you say it's important who you work with, the right insurance partner.
Vince, it really is. R&R Insurance has a 50-year record of excellence in this market. We're not for sale, and we're client-focused when many others are really distracted.
What else does R&R Insurance do that sets you apart?
R&R Insurance will provide a better insurance buying experience. We'll use data, strategy, and our expert resources to help you control costs and maximize the value of both your commercial and your personal insurance program. We blend our elite resources with technology to create innovative and cost-effective insurance solutions. As a top 100 firm nationally, you get local expertise and local ownership working for you.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
2026 Brewers Group tickets are on sale now, and planning your next event at American Family Field has never been easier. Whether it's a company outing, family reunion, or night out with friends, bring your group of 15 or more to the ballpark and enjoy up to 25% off single game tickets with no service fees. All Brewers home games are available now. Start planning today, and a Brewers Group ticket rep will handle the rest. But hurry, tickets are moving fast. Plan your 2026 outing at brewers.com/groups.
Find it, buy it, ride it.
Electric bikes, road bikes, cargo bikes, mountain bikes, kid bikes, hybrid bikes, all on display and ready to ride. This weekend during the Bike Expo sale.
Visit bikeexposale.com for details. Admission is free.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Time to roll out the barrel in Boston and let the bats do the talking.
Ventura saying fly ball deep center field. Back goes to Luca at the track, at the wall. It is gone for Wild Bill.
The Brewers square off against the Red Sox today at Fenway Park. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at noon. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11 o'clock, 43 degrees, mostly sunny the rest of the day, breezy, mild, high 63. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. The White House taking a victory lap over the latest developments in Iran. Just hours before his self-imposed deadline yesterday, President Trump announced what he called a 2-week ceasefire. He claims that the Iranians agreed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, although ABC's Karen Travers says Iran is still approving ships, and there's a significant dip in the maritime traffic passing through.
There will be questions about what this looks like now. Iran
Iran will be controlling this. Before the war, there was free passage in the strait. The president overnight was suggesting that the United States could play a role in patrolling and controlling the strait, but didn't say exactly what that would look like and how the U.S. would play that role. There is also a question about Iran charging ships to go through and what that would mean for oil passage through the strait.
Iran's military already out with a statement saying they attacked U.S. and Israeli targets in the Mideast, mainly oil refineries. Rex Heuermans pleaded guilty to killing several women and admitted to strangling 8, marking a dramatic end to the Gilgo Beach serial killer case. ABC's Aaron Katersky outside court on New York's Long Island.
All the victims, young sex workers whose remains were found starting in 1993 along the shoreline near Gilgo Beach and elsewhere here on Long Island. The architect and father has pleaded not guilty and was preparing to stand trial in September, and prosecutors said they amassed DNA evidence from a hair on burlap used to wrap some of the victims and pizza crust in the trash outside Heuermans' Manhattan office.
Heuerman was arrested in 2023. Judge Chris Taylor will be Wisconsin's next Supreme Court justice. Taylor beat Judge Maria Lazar in a race that was called shortly before 9 p.m. last night. Liberals will now hold a 5-2 majority in Wisconsin's highest court. Taylor's a former state lawmaker who also worked for Planned Parenthood. She'll be sworn in August 1st. Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents votes to fire System President Jay Rothman following his refusal to quietly resign.
Rothman's firing follows his assertions that he was never given a reason the board planned to remove him from the post he had held since 2022. Board President Amy Bogost said Monday they had shared a performance review with Rothman and stressed the need for a clear vision of the future. Rothman countered in his own statement, saying regents had declined to cite a reason for lacking confidence in his leadership. Chris Patton will serve as acting executive in charge while the board begins its search for an interim president. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin public schools facing a growing teacher shortage, and state leaders say it's becoming urgent.
Just 52% of new teachers remain in Wisconsin classrooms in the first few years on the job. That number even lower for special education teachers. The data comes from a new report released by the Department of Public Instruction. State Superintendent Jill Underly says low pay and limited funding are driving the trend. The department warns without stronger state funding, schools may struggle to compete for qualified professionals. DPI is highlighting the issue as part of a broader effort to improve recruitment and support early career educators. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee will get the spotlight in the next Michelin Guide. It's one of 6 cities to be featured in showcasing American Great Lakes cuisine. Michelin Guide International Director Gwendal Polonak.
The inspectors are already out, boots on the ground in the region, exploring your local culinary scenes and experiencing the many great delicacies these American Great Lakes cities have to offer.
Full restaurant list will be revealed in 2027. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 1,262 points. The Nasdaq is up 650. S&P 500 up 163. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 11:04.
And by now, I know you're a bit tired of the numbers, but here's an important one you need to hear. $16 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud. Not all grim news. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second for your personal information and alerts you to threats that you could easily miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to fix it. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK, 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com. Terms to apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spirit wear is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spirit wear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spirit wear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Bucks lost 96-90 to the Brooklyn Nets on the road. Milwaukee back in action tonight to face the Detroit Pistons. And the Brewers lost 3-2 to the Boston Red Sox. Teams wrap up their series today. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. A couple of earlier crashes looks like are in the clearing stages. One, I-41 south at the ramp from Good Hope Road east. It was blocking the left lane. Looks like that is open. And a crash on the ramp from Wisconsin 145 to I-41 south also cleared. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny, breezy, mild today with a high 63. Chance of showers again tonight with a low 45. Showers likely early tomorrow, then partly cloudy 57. Rain on Friday morning as well, then partly cloudy with highs 50 lakeside, 55 inland. Sunshine on Saturday, highs 52 to 60, and a chance for showers and storms on Sunday, mostly cloudy with a high of 70. 49 in Madison, 41 in Green Bay, 43 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Point Taken. And you'd think it's a Friday.
Feels like a Friday.
It's not a Friday. It is hump day.
Wish
But
it was Friday.
We have a special guest here earlier in the week, Joe Zepecki, not to talk about politics. Well, maybe we'll get to politics, but although this is political.
There are political implications to what we're about to talk
implications
about.
to almost everything. But I think you are on the cutting edge of a conversation that we should all be having, which is if AI is coming and it's coming in the way that the leaders of AI are predicting, what happens to all the people who have jobs that just get eliminated? And I will not spoil it for you, but you had an op-ed in Journal Sentinel talking about what you think we should do, or at least the start of what we should do. So what should we do, Joe Zepecki?
I think we need to be radically simple here, and there ought to be a law. We need to have Congress and the federal government institute a moratorium on firing human workers and replacing them with AI and robots. When you look at labor law in this country, we can't get fired because of who we love or how we worship or the color of our skin. But it turns out you can get fired simply for being a human. In the coming age of AI, you could be discriminated against just for being a person with 5 senses and a brain instead of being made up of computer chips. And when you think about it that way, it's kind of harrowing, right?
But it's the capitalist over here, I'm sure, is going to have a lot to say. But as far as how is this different than any other type of layoff?
Because of the potential cataclysm that AI could mean for the U.S. economy. Roman Polanski, who's a leading expert on this, has said that he believes in the next 5 years, 99% of work in this country could be replaced by AI and machine robotics. That's probably more jobs more quickly than is likely to happen. But when the smartest people in the country working in this field, from Sam Altman to Yampolsky, are saying a cataclysm is coming, an economic tsunami is coming, and when we're already seeing major layoffs, Block Incorporated, which is a tech company formerly known as Square, became the first domino to fall here, they laid off half their workforce and said, we're doing this as a bet on AI efficiencies. Okay, well, those 4,000 people, that might not cause a ripple in the economy, but if you start seeing hundreds of thousands or millions of people lose their jobs and be replaced by machines, what does that do to the purchasing power that actually drives capitalism in this country? Who's going to buy the goods and services? What does it do to the public sector where all of a sudden more people are in need of public assistance in the form of food share benefits or government-provided health care? We're already $37 trillion in debt. All of a sudden, we're going to have millions of more people unemployed and just say, well, taxes will have to pay for it? This could get very scary very quickly. So hit the pause button.
When I worked in the private sector, I did some PR work for manufacturing companies. And several of them were heavily invested in robotics, still are. I'd walk into their space and, man, these things were doing amazing things. Always human oversight. So two pieces of this thing. One, it's already happened.
Yep.
How is this different? And the other part is you always, at least in the world of my AI, whatever I hope this is going to be, I'm always going to carve out a space, and hopefully our legislators do this, for human oversight.
Oversight is just one piece of it, though. We have seen economic sort of destruction before, whether it's gas pumps that people can put the gas in their own car, wiped out an entire class of people whose job
Not
it was
New Jersey, though.
to pump your gas.
Not New Jersey.
Right? So we have seen, robotic assembly lines, in the auto manufacturing industry. We have seen technology replace human jobs before. We've never seen warnings that it could happen at this scale. And one of the things that has happened with the pace of technological innovation is a challenge called the Collingridge dilemma. I write about this in the column. And that dilemma is that technology advances so fast right now that regulators can't possibly keep up with it. And so what you have are examples from the last 20 years of like social media. If lawmakers knew when social media platforms debuted what havoc they would wreak on the brains of young people, what it would do to mental health in this country, they would have put laws in place that would have prevented some of that from happening. Instead, now, 20 years later, they're trying to put the horses back in the barn when we've already seen.
Are they trying?
Sure, you've got Australia and other states
I thought you meant here.
banning, anyone under 16 from using social media, but we're playing catch up. Why not hit the pause button and say, American corporations, for 3 years, for 5 years, for 7 years, you don't get to just fire people in the name of AI efficiency. Instead, you want to adopt AI? Great, let's do it. Find other ways for your human workforce to work with that AI to improve your bottom line.
Given the social media example, and I agree with you completely on that, they've dropped the ball, and they continue to drop the ball because there are serious concerns. Kristen and I have talked about them. Given that reality, how confident are you that, given your ideas expressed in this Journal Sentinel piece, which I'll, by the way, link if you text us at 855-616-1620, we got a link for you. You can find it. Real newspaper, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, not one of the fake ones that are proliferating right now. How realistic is it to think they're going to do this if they can't even do social media?
Listen, this idea is partly born out of how dysfunctional our politics is. That everything seems so complicated and everything is so red versus blue in Washington, D.C. and in state capitals. We don't need an omnibus piece of legislation. We're not going to get what Sam Altman called for just in the last week, which is an AI New Deal to radically restructure the economy around artificial intelligence. So if we can't have that, let's do something simple. Let's play for time. Kristen, you're a basketball player, right? If you're losing a game towards the end, you're down by a couple buckets, what do? You try to extend the game. You commit a foul. You send the other team to the line. You stop the clock. We can stop the clock and buy time for lawmakers to get this right. And it's not like we haven't done it before. The last economic cataclysm that was coming for all our jobs was the pandemic. And the federal government responded by paying corporations to not fire people.
You do know that was also a fraud-inducing environment.
Absolutely. And all of it should be prosecuted, and much of it has.
Okay, let's take a break. But because on the other side of this is if you pause for the sake of figuring out the jobs and what humans do in an AI world, what happens to the fact that our entire economy and market is propped up by like 7 companies right now, all because of AI. And so if those companies fail because they're spending way more than they're making, what does that do to our economy? So Joe will answer that question when we come back.
Hey, is your son, daughter, or grandchild's birthday soon? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea. Hosting a birthday party is a lot of work. No need for you to cook and organize, then clean your home. How about having your party at the amazing Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford, the area's most affordable birthday party destination? Your party room is free, with a world-class game room with over 70 games, including the easiest ones for your little ones. The pizza party packages are super affordable and include free game room credits. Whether your birthday party is for 10 or 50, the Mine Chef will host your party or your business event. It'll be the best and easiest birthday party ever. Your kids and grandkids will love you more than ever. They even have your cake. I highly recommend the Mine Chef restaurant for your next birthday party or a really fun, interactive business gathering. Reservations are required 2 days in advance. Google the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford. Click on Party Planning for all the details. Birthdays are easy at the amazing Mine Shaft.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scavini. It's April. How about that? And if you're one of the over 700,000 people, yes, that's right, 700,000, getting your annual Wisconsin Retirement System statement, Annex has something for you. If you have questions about your statement or how your WRS account should work with your overall retirement plan, joining our planning and WRS experts, and they are experts, on April 23rd, coming up soon, for Understand Your WRS Pension Potential. Keyword potential. A webinar hosted by Annex Wealth Management's Director of Financial Planning, Eric Strom. We'll walk through your statement, field any questions. It's a Q&A above all else. Informational, yes. Educational, sure. But we'll answer all of your questions. You just got to type them in. We'll answer them. Eric will do a great job with that. Thursday, April 23rd at 1 in the afternoon. I'll be hosting as well. Register at events.annexwealth.com.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Do you love the way your home looks? When you pull in, do you think, wow, the old homestead looks fantastic? Or do you notice that the siding's all faded and the roof is kind of falling apart? Well, Tri-County Contracting can help make it look the way you truly want it and make you love it. The website is tricountycontractingwi.com. It's roofing, siding, and windows that'll make you love your home again. tricountycontractingwi.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristen. He's Steve. We're talking to Joe Zepecki about his recent op-ed and argument that we should have a moratorium on humans being fired simply because they are humans when it comes to the bottom line for companies investing in AI, realizing that that's cheaper than paying salaries and benefits and all of those things. I hear you. I don't know what the nuance of that would be as far as, like we said, technological advancements has been baked in all the time as far as, and where is the line? Is it because if you're a profitable company, you can't? If you're not a profitable company, you can? Like, there's a lot of details there. On the flip side, we keep being told that basically our entire stock market right now is being held up by 7 companies and they're all paying each other for chips and for data centers and all these different things. And that skeptics, as Steve would call them, doomers, are saying like there could be an AI implosion if this big bet does not work out. Would a moratorium on firing humans impact the finances of these AI companies?
I can't see how it could possibly stop this freight train. And I want to be really clear. America needs to win the AI race. I don't think this is the Manhattan Project, but it is a national security, economic security, and a global imperative that what is left of America's reputation and our role as the leading nation, we have to get there before China does. And I don't think buying time and protecting workers is going to stop the record amounts of investments, the incredible increase in valuations of these companies. You're seeing them go in the course of a year from like a $9 billion valuation to a $30 billion valuation. There is no stopping this freight train. What I am suggesting is that rather than tying workers to the tracks and having them get killed by the freight train, how about we find space for them on the train for an economy that actually works for everybody? Doesn't mean that the C-suite and the executives aren't going to be making a pretty penny, but we cannot simply allow millions of Americans to stop having income because their job has been replaced by a robot or AI. That's ridiculous.
What would you say to a manufacturer? Let's say they have 200 employees in the state of Wisconsin. What do you say to them when they say, let us run our businesses?
I would say that's a fair concern, and I hear it. And maybe one of the things that this moratorium needs to do is treat small and medium-sized businesses different than large businesses. I think you guys know, listeners may not, I'm a small business guy. I own my own small business. I worked at the Small Business Administration during the Obama administration. I don't ever want to do anything that makes life harder for small businesses, in part because they are the engine of economic growth in this country and are responsible for between 2/3 and 3/4 of all new job creation. So I'm happy to have that conversation, but I also think that those small and medium-sized manufacturers can find other things for that workforce to do, right? You're trying to get from small or medium to large. Okay, well, if you're producing your product more quickly, more efficiently, now you have a built-in person you can take from that line, and they can go be a salesperson and try to land that new account to sell what you're manufacturing to other businesses, to consumers. There's other things that workers can do at this point that robots can't.
How convinced are you that AI can do what they say it can do? I mean, that's a big, broad question because you and I offline have had conversations as far as, I think it was Derek Thompson saying, is AI more like Excel sheets versus a human replacement? Right. And like we're using it for different sourcing, that it's where it is. Like, you still got to fact check it. Still got to, like, there's still, it's not an autonomous being yet that doesn't need oversight. And so, like, are you convinced that it's not a big risk and potential loss for these companies that are taking these big swings, and then they realize, like, oh wait, maybe we actually do need humans to do this, and they hire people back?
That could be. This is moving so fast. Here's an idea of this. I conceived this and wrote it within the last month. And when I first pitched it to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel editorial board, I could not have imagined that before it ran, the First Lady of the United States would walk down a hallway in the White House with a humanoid-looking robot and do an event suggesting, hey, this robot that walks and talks and is about the average size of a person could teach a classroom full of kids. That's how fast this is moving. And so, the other part of this is it's not anti-AI. This is a pro-worker proposal. This is about allowing people to maintain the dignity that comes with having a job and providing for their family. You can be for that and not say we need to put up roadblocks to AI. AI could cure cancers and protect us from cyber vulnerabilities and protect us in lots of different ways. I'm for all of those. I just think devastation across the economy is too high a price to pay.
Big stuff. Deep thinking. Joe Zepecki. That's why he's here. That's why he's part of the gang on Friday. It's not just politics with you.
The featured cast member?
Featured cast member.
I used that line with somebody this week.
Did you?
I did.
I'm surprised that hasn't shown up on all your social media accounts. Featured cast member, friend of the show, smart guy, good guy, Joe Zepecki. We'll see you Friday.
Can't wait.
All right, quick break. Point taken, 620 WTMJ.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, Lake Tides newsletter, UWSP, Stevens Point, if you don't know. Great source for natural resources in the state of Wisconsin. Talk to those folks there. And then we wrap it up with a conversation with Lang Lake County.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
This is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Your home should be the one place that you feel completely comfortable and safe, but old, drafty windows can steal that feeling. At Ridgetop Exteriors, we bring that peace of mind back. As Wisconsin's leading Pella Premier contractor, we install beautiful, secure windows and doors that can save you up to 40% on your energy bills. Get a home full of new Pella windows for as low as $198 a month. Learn more at ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Lark.
I love the location, and that's the main reason Dave and I are there, is because of nature all around us. I knew when we moved in, I was leaving behind a lot of stress and responsibility. I decided now is the time to do what I want when I want to do it.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious accident? It's free. Yes, free, as in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. There's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Thanks to Joe Zepecki, as always, coming on. I would love to hear what people. What is your thought on that? Do you think it's possible?
Oh, I think we should think about it because the biggest concern all of us have, and I read a lot about AI, as do you and others that work here, how fast this is going, the impact on our industry, the markets, all this stuff. It matters. I am bothered by the fact that very few men have control over so much of our economy potentially and the market performance. That bothers me. And if you talk about setting ourselves up for failure, whether it's the performance of the economy, whether it's the market performance, we have put ourselves in that situation again, and there's so much uncertainty. But where I brought it up during the interview, manufacturers are going to tell everybody loudly and clearly, we'll run our business.
I don't think it's just manufacturers, though, because it's also the ability for coding, right? Yeah. So all these people who for the last 20 years have been told to go into computer science and learn how to code.
Don't need that anymore.
Are now being replaced fairly quickly. And then that will create like a dearth of almost like apprenticeship of people who practice. And like, so I don't know. I also don't know how, if we keep replacing writers and copywriters and advertisers and marketers and coders, like what feeds the large language models, but that's a different topic. I just don't, it's hard for me to wrap my head around a country that is not known for stifling innovation at the cost of protecting people.
Yeah.
How you justify, especially in a capitalist market where shareholders are the top priority.
They're everything now.
That like, how do you tell a company you can't increase your profits because we got to protect workers, and thus shortchange your shareholders? I believe in it. I don't know how it would actually be executed.
As I said to you earlier this week when we were chatting offline about AI generally, these topics are so important. How we present them, what they mean to the listeners, how we engage, get them to engage on. That's sort of our challenge because this is happening. We do it every day. But I told you the story yesterday really quickly because I'm going to get to the news here. AI gave me a wrong answer yesterday. I'm still trying to figure out why that is because it was readily
available. Did it reference anything? Did it give you like a link where it got it?
It cited sources, but it didn't list the sources. And it was basically a quote from someone. I'm not going to get into details. I don't have time. But it was a wrong answer. I chased down the right answer. So AI was wrong. That concerns me. All right, we got local news with Connie Weber. Here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The White House taking a victory lap after President Trump agreed in the final hours yesterday to extend a deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz or face military strikes. ABC's Karen Travers says ABC News has observed Iran is still approving tankers through the waterway.
There are a lot of questions about what this agreement actually means. Vice President Vance this morning repeatedly was calling it a fragile truce. And the president spoke to our John Carl this morning and says at this point he expects that the talks will start taking place on Friday and move very quickly. But notably, U.S. forces are going to stay in the region because he says they need to be there to enforce this agreement.
In New York, Rex Heuermann, the Gilgo Beach defendant accused in a string of Gilgo Beach, Long Island murders dating back to the 90s, changed his plea today in court to from not guilty to guilty in the killings of 8 female sex workers. The Artemis II crew preparing for its Friday return to Earth following the lunar flyby mission this week. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. FBI offering a reward in connection to a bank robbery in West Milwaukee. Investigators say up to $5,000 being offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of a suspect who robbed a U.S. bank on West Greenfield Avenue back in January. FBI and West Milwaukee police asking for the public's help to identify the suspect. Anyone with information urged to contact authorities. Voters in South Milwaukee approving a referendum to expand library services. City officials say the measure will increase hours at the South Milwaukee Public Library by about 23%, from 44 to a projected 54 hours per week starting in 2027. Plan also includes expanding book and digital collections along with hiring additional staff to enhance programming for residents of all ages. Marcus Theater is promoting a longtime executive to lead the company. The Milwaukee-based theater chain has named Jeffrey Tomachek as its new president. He'll officially take over May 1st, succeeding Mark Grams, who's retiring after 55 years. Tomachek has been with Marcus since 1998 and most recently served as Chief Financial Officer. Time for news about your money with the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow up 1,204 points at 47,789. The Nasdaq is up 641 at 22,663. S&P 500 up 159 points at 6,775. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. It looks like it is pretty clear on the roads. We have one maybe slow spot, repairs happening on the ramp from Watertown Plank Road west to I-41 South. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Mostly sunny, breezy, mild today. High 63. Chance of rain overnight with a low 45. Showers likely early tomorrow, then partly cloudy. High 57. Rain on Friday morning, then partly cloudy with highs 50 lakeside, 55 inland. Sunshine on Saturday. Highs 52 to 60, and a chance of showers, maybe some storms on Sunday. High of 70. Madison right now 50 degrees. Green Bay at 42. Milwaukee 43 degrees. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. You should see what our new floors look like, and you can. But let's talk about you first. Whether you want to tighten things up before selling your house, or you want to be more comfortable in your forever home, start at Hunt's Flooring. Our new hardwood floors are in. We could not be happier that we chose local, family-owned Hunt's Flooring. Text FLOOR to 855-616-1620, and I'll send you the before and after pics. Hunt's is ready for your project right now. Tell them Vinny sent you. Highway 100 in Greenfield, huntsflooring.com.
What's up, Milwaukee? Christian Yelich here. Big news. Isaac Slade from The Fray and Jake Owen are joining us for this year's Home Plate charity event happening May 21st, 2026 at Landmark Credit Union Live. This night is all about giving back to the city that gives us so much. We're raising support for organizations that help Milwaukee families, students, and small businesses thrive. Get ready for an amazing night of music, community, and impact. Let's make this one the best yet. For more information on tickets, please head to Yelly22concert.com.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do,
You can't beat Burkhart.
if you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service,
You can't beat Burkhart.
Now it's time for Ask Us Anything on Point Taken. Got a burning question? Give us a call or text on the Siding Unlimited talk and text line at 855-616-1620.
Any questions for again, 855-616-1620. We obviously should have teased it before the break. So while we're awaiting your very important and valuable questions, I didn't get into Joe because he was talking more about the sort of the business impact and how we relate AI, the advent, the proliferation of AI into all things business in our state and beyond. The other big thing for me is the impact on government, specifically military. They're starting to make those connections between AI platforms, AI systems into our military. That concerns me. Again,
that was the entire fight of Anthropic in the Pentagon.
Yeah. And
Sam Altman there to pick up the slack.
Yeah. Equally dangerous. And again, I don't want to bash Pete Hegseth too much, as I like to do, but as someone who I don't think is qualified to make these kinds of high-level decisions because he's not smart enough. Yeah, and yes, I said it out loud. I understand. You can disagree. That's okay. I worry that, man, you give that power to a system that we don't fully understand without really smart, experienced, high-level oversight. It doesn't take much to trigger an escalation that takes this world into a completely different arena that we haven't seen for decades. That's my fear. Your thoughts? Are you worried about that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
this is just this goes back to the instability and chaos of this time. That politics aside, just the unknown of what should I be focused on teaching my daughter? What should the schools that I send her to be focused on teaching her? Is it the same? Reading, I still think is there, but as far as the emphasis on what we test, what we prioritize, are in all the systems that are existent right now, what is focused on preparing the next generation to be successful? And I don't even know if they can answer that question because we don't know what it's going to look like. Will she go to college? I don't know.
Yeah. And not that college is the only path to success. There's all different kinds of ways.
No, I just offer that as what has been in certain demographics, a foregone conclusion. I don't know if it's going to make sense for her to go. And I don't know if it's going to make sense for her to study this thing versus that thing.
Joe made the point about talking about the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump, and referencing the robot walkout and how she thought, and apparently in her prepared remarks, that maybe those creatures are teaching our kids. I've said it a lot, and people beat me up for this too. I think we have to fundamentally reset our education. We've fallen in love with different ways to do things. We've got away, again, over and over again, I would say that got away from the basics. Every couple of years, every school district was changing the curriculum on the hottest new trends and trying to change things. The simple act of taking a test went from when I took it in the 70s, you got one shot at it. That was your grade. So now you can repeatedly take a test over and over and over again to get the grade that you feel like you deserve. That's just one example of many examples of how education has changed. Phonics. I mean, there's countless examples. What can AI constructively do to sort of reset education? That's where I think we have an opportunity, not a takeover.
What about Melania's humanoid teacher? You think that's the answer?
Maybe. Again, with human oversight.
In recently talking to, for this documentary project, talking to social studies, high school social studies teachers who are so excited and enthusiastic about teaching, you can't replace that with a robot.
No. Teachers are invaluable. And I'm married to one, and I've been married to her for a long time, and I know the work she does. and continues to do. The questions are coming in. We'll take a break so we get plenty of time for your questions. We have an early out, a little bit early, like a minute or so, because we have a Brewers game coming up today. Big game. Yeah. Boston Red Sox.
We're out like 2 minutes early
Yeah.
to be able to hand it off to the Brewers.
Quick break, point taken. Kristen and Steve will get to your questions right after this.
Hi, I'm Jane. Before moving to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now she comes over and we can go to concerts, we enjoy delicious meals, and participate in activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be more about fun than fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at CapriCommunities.com.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi with Milwaukee Weight Loss. It's the secret. Worked for me. 45 pounds last year, another 7 or 8 this year. On my way to hopefully a 20-pound weight loss this year. Milwaukee Weight Loss, they have the secret. Doctor developed, all natural, easy to follow, helps you lose weight fast, naturally, safely. None of the drugs or injections, expensive, side effects. None of the gimmicky stuff, as I talked about. It's a reset on your metabolism. And that's what's allowed me to keep the weight off. For good. Outstanding coaches. I talked about this a lot when I see people on the streets or in a bar or restaurant. The coaching is outstanding. They make that possibility happen for you. Thousands of people, just like me and you, have made this happen. The program, half as much of cost as some of the other popular programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Schedule a free consultation. You can do it. Right now, they have a special offer, $200 off with their spring special. Book your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades, roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lazaga here for Comfort Awnings. This year, reclaim your outdoor space like I did. Having the option to extend our awning when that summer sun gets too hot or when it's raining has been a game changer and allows my dogs, husband, and me to enjoy our patio every season. Comfort Awnings is now offering their biggest promo ever. Get up to $1,000 off any awning or screen. That's right, start spring off right and get 10% off up to $1,000 until the end of the month. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit ComfortAwnings.com to learn more.
Acumen Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at ACCUNET.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopco Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Show's blowing by today.
A lot of questions today.
A lot of good questions. Where do you want to start?
I'll say this. Do you think the country overreacted to Trump's wipe out a civilization threat? Do you think it's a valid negotiation tactic, as J.D. Vance and Scott Jennings have said? No.
No, I don't think so.
No. I don't think we overreacted.
It's not the word the president should use.
I don't think we overreacted. I think, and also it makes him look like, what were his 2 options? You either follow through and you're a monster because you kill civilians and it's a war crime to be targeting civilian infrastructure.
Wipe out a civilization.
Or you taco.
Which is what happened.
And I don't, and it's like, I'm happy that he did not. But when you put that out there as that kind of ultimatum, how does that put him in a position of strength now at all? So, no, I don't think we overreacted.
No, I agree. Steve, had you known 18 months ago that Trump 2.0 would really be like, would you have voted for Harris? No, I wrote in Nikki Haley. I already said that a million times. There's things.
Here's a question. If you knew that your vote would have made the difference between Harris winning Wisconsin and not winning Wisconsin, would you have still written in Nikki Haley?
No, the better question would be if my vote decided the election in Trump or Harris, I might have voted for Harris because I
Okay.
don't like Trump. I think he's a bad president. I said it out loud. That's an honest
All right.
answer. Let's see. What's the best piece of advice you would give to your younger self? Interesting. I know what mine would be. Pay attention, man. Get a clue.
Deprioritize men.
Why does that not surprise me?
No, I don't mean that. I mean it in a romantic way. As far as I think I spent too much time in my 20s concerned with the relationships I was in. I was in like some volatile relationships that consumed me, and I think took too much of my energy that could have been put towards better things. So I kind of say it tongue in cheek, but I also that is a lesson I think I want to teach Frankie of do your own thing. Stop caring about what men think of you.
Absolutely.
Other piece of advice would be just keep putting one foot in front of the other. It's going to work out.
Yeah, and save money, which is I both spend and save money. You can do both. Have a plan. Steve, do you have any evidence to support your opinion that Susie Wiles is any more competent than Trump's other advisors? Somebody I respect, Bill McCoshen's met her, talked to her, knows her work, says so. That's a good enough for me. I don't know her. She's generally not the person that gets mentioned when the stupidity argument is attached to this administration. They're not talking about Susie Wiles generally. She's chief of staff, if you don't know who she is, or the president of the United States. I'm a fan of smart, strong women. And to have a female voice in that mix, I think is a good thing.
Do you feel like we're feeling her impact?
Hard to say. Chief of staff is a weird job.
I'm just saying, like, I feel, at least in the squawking that happens as far as where different policies are coming from, you know, you like see Stephen Miller over here and different people's influence. What do you feel like we are feeling from her influence?
I feel like when and again, I don't know this because I'm not in the White House.
I'll ask Bill on Friday.
Yeah, I think when I feel it is when I see the president stick to the script, especially on Oval Office addresses. He doesn't do what he does when he gets out of that environment. So that, to me, is the chief of staff saying, just say the words. They're written down. Stick to them. A couple more before the break. Has there been a time in the last 50 or 60 years that the Democratic Party, okay, that's a history question. Like, we can Google it, all three branches.
We know for sure that as of 2009 and 2010.
Pre-Walker, yes.
Pre-Walker, but I don't know what the ideological lean of the court was at that point.
Yeah.
And I think the court was less ideological at that point. Because there was another question is when and why did it become acceptable for Wisconsin Supreme Court justices to campaign for and openly support candidates running to be justice? Again, I was not here when the change was happening. I don't know if it started with Gableman.
It's certainly ramped up in the last 15 years.
I would say it seems like it's ramped up as far as historically when you look at how campaigns were run since 2010-ish.
Yeah. Do you think Congress refuses to challenge President Trump's policy and executive acts mainly because they fear relentless retaliation? Yeah, for the most part, if they fail to support him. Yeah. Some people seem to be afraid of him.
Is it retaliation from him or is it retaliation from what they think voters are going to do?
Both. Yeah, both. Because he'll go after you. He's not afraid. If you could say anything about the president, he's not afraid of anybody.
Like, here's a question. Do you think Thomas Massey survives his election this fall?
I hope so.
I hope so, too.
Because he's a critic.
But I don't, like, it'll be an interesting question. I don't know anything about who's primarying him. But as far as someone who has shown backbone in a couple different issues, if he is rewarded or punished for that by his district.
Yeah, I like people, like, for example, Brian Hagedorn. Looks at the cases in front of him, doesn't put a rubber stamp because conservatives think this is what he should do. That's actually being a justice. That's what I point to when people say, what should a conservative be? Willing to hear both sides and then make a decision based on whatever principles you think conservatives should have and have been consistently defended over decades and hundreds of years. That's my answer. We'll do some fun ones as we wind it up to the Brewers after this on Point Taken.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Another teen takeover in the Milwaukee area. Police responding to multiple fights between dozens of teenagers and reports of gunfire. It comes after at least a dozen were arrested during a teen takeover at Bayshore Mall. Police say multiple social media posts prompted both takeovers.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m.
Residential customers could see their 6th rate increase on electric bills since 2020 under a rate hike proposal from We Energies.
Only on WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Skinny for Geis garage doors. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. It doesn't happen by accident. If you have a busted garage door, opener problems, anything related to that, track problem, call my friends at Geist today with brands like CHI, LiftMaster. They have doors for every budget and even will build custom designs, maybe for your new house or your remodel, to meet your exact needs. I've been to their showroom in Brookfield. It's absolutely amazing. Hundreds of doors. The cool part that I loved was the different opener technologies now. Camera systems, app programs, so you can actually pull up your door and the camera on your phone, close it if it's not closed, open it if you're coming into the driveway. Hundreds of openers and doors, all in their custom design room. Don't think twice. Call Geist, Geis Doors, geistdoors.com.
Put Brewers weekends back on your schedule when the Crew take on the Nationals April 10th through the 12th. Collect a new Mish trading card bobblehead for the first 25,000 fans on Saturday the 11th, courtesy of Toyota. Then reserve Sunday for a full day of family fun. Kids can run the bases, get autographs, and the first 5,000 kids get a Brewers wiffle ball set, courtesy of Joy. Plus, it's a kids cheer free Sunday. Grab your seat at brewers.com/tickets.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
What's in the Hasselus having mattress right now?
Beg your pardon?
I can't sleep another night on that mattress. This is driving me crazy.
Whoa, you're talking way too low. It reminds me of the way too low prices on Sealy Posturepedic, Beautyrest, and more at Hasselus Mattress.
Are they really that low?
You're probably asking, how low? Check out the Beauty Sleep by Beautyrest Queen Aspen Cove B Hybrid. Others sell it for $1,015, but Hasselus has it for just $846.
My mattress is
Maybe you're inquiring about a free box spring with the purchase of any Beautyrest or Sealy Posturepedic mattress for a limited time, or take an equal amount off an adjustable base.
Do we have
I assume you're asking whether Hasselus Mattress has employee-free showrooms, free next-day delivery, setup and removal of your old mattress, and free financing.
Huh?
Yes, we do.
Holy cow!
See? People are talking about Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at hasselus.com.
When it's time to explore assisted living, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association to promote whereyouLiveMatters.org. I'm Mike from the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association. For over 30 years, our organization of more than 2,000 facility members has led through advocacy, education, and support to help advance quality care. That's why Wisconsin families trust WALA. When it's time to search for assisted living for yourself or a loved one, visit whereyouLiveMatters.org.
Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or retirement this week with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill. Buy one dinner, get one free, 7 nights a week. Google Fox and Hounds restaurant and enjoy your free dinner.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, got a couple minutes here before we hand it off to the Brewers. Exciting rubber game with the Boston Red Sox. Both teams have won one game, so see what happens. Question, Kristen. If Chef Ramsay, the famous Chef Ramsay, asked you to cook your best meal for him, what would it be?
I hate questions like this. No offense to the person who asked it. I'm terrible at saying like the best meal of my life or my last meal or whatever. At the top of my brain, I don't even know if he's a sushi chef, but like,
I think he can do anything.
I think like having unbelievably fresh, good fish in like some kind of hamachi, I would say something sushi related. I don't know.
Mine would be lamb chops. Love
lamb
them.
chops.
Yeah, love them. So that's one of my go-tos. If I've never been to a restaurant and it's well considered and their lamb chops are supposed to be great, I'll have that. The other one is veal parm. Everyone has chicken parm. That's standard fare. Veal parm? Whoo.
I can't do veal.
No?
I just think
the storyline.
I just think of little baby cows in the cages.
Get over it. There's a reality to food. You have to understand that.
I know, but it's just like give them a chance.
Let
them live.
Let them go. Let them run free. No, the other advice: lighten up, dude. You're yelling all the time.
That's a character, don't you think?
I hope he's a nice dude.
I've seen he has like a TikTok that he does a lot with his daughter, or at least at one point he has a lot of fun with his daughter. I think it's kind of a character that he plays on a show.
I generally avoid shows that have crazy in them. Yelling crazy.
Besides ours?
We don't have yelling like that. Not crazy yelling. Like the housewife shows where they're yelling all of them, picking on each other. They're supposed to be friends, but yet you hate each other in some weird way. Stop. What's with the anger? I'm a lovable, fun person. I see you back there looking at me like that. We have one more question real quick. I am not related to the beautiful Scafidi's hideout. Is it a hideout or hideaway? I think it's hideaway. On Humboldt near one of my favorite places, Wolski's. But I've corresponded with the owner.
Not related at all.
Well, only in the distant Sicilian South, because that's a very common name in Sicily. But it would be a great location for a meetup.
It would be.
So if you're listening, my friend Scafidi over there at the location off of Humboldt, would love to do it. Wouldn't that be fun?
It'd be very fun.
Is there any?
Are you good at pool?
Not bad.
I'm terrible.
Are any bri bars around?
No.
None? Nothing?
Not that I know
There's
of.
gotta be. All right. Brewers baseball, my friends, is next.
Amy Simonson is the IT administrator with Professional Services Group. They had business technology from a not-so-supportive vendor. Not anymore. They switched